It's funny because I was talking to Quinn off the air, and Quinn used to listen to War of the Roses when you were a little kid. Hi, Quinn.
Hi.
What do you remember about listening to War of the Roses at a very young, inappropriate age? How old were you?
I was in like middle school, so I guess I probably was around like 12. And I would listen to it with my friends, like on the bus in the morning. And so we would kind of all like huddle around one person's like phone, or I think one person actually did have like a little mini radio.
Okay, funny.
Around.
So here you are at 14 years old, and I'm going to guess how old are you now? You're like, it doesn't matter, but what are you, 25, 28?
Yeah, 25.
Okay. So here you are on War of the Roses. You could have never seen this when you were a kid on the school bus. But tell me why, Quinn, what is it that you are worried about with your boyfriend? What's going on?
Yeah, so basically I started dating like this new guy. It's only been a few months, and I have some trust issues. I was like looking through his phone, which apparently is a thing I do now because there was this guy I dated for 2 years, and I found out he was cheating on me the entire time. So now,
not to stop the action, but for 2 years you dated a guy, and he was cheating with the same woman the entire time, with multiple women the entire time? Do you know?
As best I can tell, it was multiple women.
Okay.
It was kind of hard to get like a straight answer from him, but...
Okay. But that'll make you cautious. That'll make you, like, in your next relationship. It's kind of like, you know, if you have a bad experience with flying and you throw up the first time you fly, you're not going to want to go flying again. You know what I mean?
And your nervous system remembers things like that. So there are definitely things that are going to trigger you if you were kind of traumatized for something in your past.
So you go through, what's your new guy's phone? What's his name?
My new guy is Troy.
Okay. So you go through Troy's phone, and I'm not judging. You know, we know you shouldn't, but at the same time, you're protecting yourself. That's when things get weird. What did you find going through Troy's phone?
So, first of all, he wasn't even necessarily behaving weirdly. It's just that I'm so overly cautious now. So I felt like, you know, if something's going on, I just want to find out early before I get in too deep.
Okay.
And so I got into his phone, and I ended up finding these pictures that were sent to him very recently of a naked woman in a tub. And, like, the pictures look like they're meant to be sexy. I'm not sure they really are, but they're meant to be sexy.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's a full body, like, naked shot of her in the tub.
So can you see her face? I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but is it taken of her, like, you know, arm's length selfie, or how is the selfie taken? I'm just trying to picture what she sent.
Yeah, so basically it's like from the top of her body down is kind of the angle that it is. So you can see like her boobs down to her like stomach, and then like all the way down to her legs. It's definitely, you know, a selfie angle, but it's full body.
Okay. So the thing is, I mean, obviously it's not good for you dating this guy, Troy, a couple of months. He gets, and it was recent. When you say recent, was it like, does that mean 3 months ago or 3 days ago or 3 weeks ago that you found? Because they got a date stamp on the photos in your phone. Mm-hmm. How long ago was this?
This is the date stamp was just from like a couple days ago.
Okay. So that's why you're calling, because it just happened. But you didn't want to ask Troy about this, because if this happened with 95% of women, they would walk right into Troy and say, what the heck is this? But you decided not to do that.
Yeah, because I feel like I've sort of been down that road before, and I don't even want to give him the chance to lie to me. I just want to know what's going on. So I felt like doing War of the Roses was the best way to find out if he's actually cheating.
A lot of people agree with you. A lot of people would be like, you know what? That's what War of the Roses is for, because if I ask him, he's going to lie his way out of it, and I won't quite believe him. But War of the Roses traps the guy, because now he's glued to one position. If he sends the roses to, I don't know, Debbie, and he's like, can't wait to hook up with you again this weekend, then that's kind of undeniable. Mm-hmm. But let's hope he doesn't. Let's hope that he sends them to you. I can't even imagine an excuse why he's got a recent photo of a naked woman in a tub. But let's find out. We'll call him next and set the trap on War of the Roses. We'll call and say, hey, you won roses if you take this survey. And then we'll say, who do you want to send the roses to? And then if he says somebody else's name, we'll try to trap him a little bit more. Like, well, what do you want the card to read? To trap him a little bit more. After that, we'll talk to Jonathan Fogel from Fogel Family Law to give us some insight on this whole thing. And we'll find out what is going on with the picture.
Are they cheating? Let's find out. Part 2 of War of the Roses starts right now on KDWB.
Resetting kind of what's going on War of the Roses. Basically, she's been dating a guy for a couple of months, and she went through his phone. Well, why would she go through his phone? Well, because she's been burned before, and it's like if you've been bitten by the neighbor's dog, you're going to be careful of the neighbor's dog. Mm-hmm. If you've been cheated on before and you didn't see it, cheated on for 2 years with multiple women the entire time. So she went through his phone. Judge away. She finds a picture of a woman in a tub taken from the face perspective. So it's not like a selfie stick or somebody else took it. She took it down her body and it shows her entire body in the tub. And I'm picturing her feet resting up on the edge of the tub.
Yeah.
And she takes a picture, sends it to the boyfriend. He finds it. She finds it in his phone from not that long ago. What'd she say? A couple of days ago?
I think she said a few days ago.
And they've been seeing each other for a couple of months. So she's like, well, what is this all about? So we're going to make the phone call to him and see who he sends roses to, whether it's going to be her or whether it is somebody else. Let's get started on War of the Roses. Then we'll talk to Jonathan Fogel from Fogel Family Law.
Thanks for taking that survey, Troy. So like I said earlier, let's get you set up with a dozen long stem red roses to send to whoever you like. What I need from you is the name of the person you'd like to send these to.
Sure, absolutely. Quinn.
Awesome, Quinn. Okay, and then we also give the option, if you want, you can send a card with a little note on it. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what do you want the note to say?
Could it say, love you, long time?
Love you, long time. Perfect.
Clever, romantic. Well, this is where everything kind of crumbles underneath you, Troy, and you really have no idea what's going on. It's kind of like being on the Twilight Zone. Let me explain what's going on. Everything you heard about the roses and all that was a ploy to get you to say who you want to send roses to. And by the way, who am I? My name's Dave. Yeah. I do the morning show at KWB. That's Jenny that just talked to you. She also does the morning show at KWB. And we were put up to calling you to set a little trap by who do you think we called? Who do you think called us, Troy, to say, hey, call Troy to see if he'll send me roses? Who do you think would do that?
To send me roses, I can only think Quiddy did that.
What do you call her?
Quinny.
Oh, that's adorable.
Nice little nickname.
Quinny, I didn't know they called you Quinny. Yeah, it's Quinn or Quinny. And she is on the phone right now listening to this whole thing unfold. Say hi, Quinny.
Hi.
Hey. What's going on?
Well, it's pretty simple, but there's a reason why Quinn wondered whether you would send roses to her or to somebody else. Quinn, do you want to try to explain to Troy why you wanted us to set a little trap for him? There was something going on that made her suspicious, Troy.
Yeah. So basically, I found naked photos on your phone and I kind of got a little freaked out, and I know you're going to be like, well, why didn't you just ask me? But the thing is, like, it would have been easy for you to lie about it if it was actually something. And so I thought that this was the best way to actually get the truth. So I'm really relieved you sent the roses to me.
Yeah, you were looking through my phone?
But the big question was, yeah, she looked through your phone. The big question is, why naked pictures? Can you explain the naked pictures that she saw came in your phone about 3 or 4 days ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I can explain that.
Oh, this should be good,
So-
Jenny. Are
Yeah,
you ready?
I'm like, what
This
is
should
it
be
gonna
good.
be?
I almost feel like taking a commercial break, and like they say, next week on War of the Roses, that we find out what the answer is.
Don't do that to the people.
Next
okay?
week, how about tomorrow? Tomorrow on War of the Roses, we'll find out what Troy's excuse. What is your excuse, Troy?
Okay, so those photos, they're of this woman, Carissa. I saw her a number of years ago. She sent me those photos like late last week, and I kept them because honestly, they're kind of funny. They're gross and they're really funny. Like the bathtub that she's in, she's lying right in this bathtub. It's dirty. Like the bathtub is dirty. The water is gross. It's got like little like hairs in it and like bits of like like soap suds still floating around. Like she's been in there for like half an hour, and there's mold on the wall. It's honestly, I get them because it was amusing and funny, and I'm not doing anything with them. Just I got a good laugh out of it.
Well, I think the thing is, she sent you photos. You definitely have a right to keep them. I don't know if you have. Yeah, I guess you could show them to Quinny if you wanted to, because now it's not like you took them. I don't know. I don't know what the legalities are. We'll have to ask Jonathan Fogel about that one. But do you remember the pictures being gross and funny, Quinn, when you saw them, like mold on the wall and hair floating in the water?
I was a little distracted by the
Understandable.
naked woman, so I kind of freaked out.
Have you guys seen the picture? And it was going around on the internet a couple of years ago. It's a woman who has taken a selfie, and I think she's in a bikini or her underwear. And in the background is a toilet that has not been flushed. Have you seen this? Have you seen that before, Jenny?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you pulled it up, I'd remember, but I don't remember.
She was trying to take a sexy selfie, and she's got the phone over her head, aiming down at her body, and in the background is a toilet that's not been flushed. That's what kind of reminds me of. So it looks like, what was your ex's name?
Carissa.
I don't want to embarrass her, but if she took a picture of that, she didn't think of the mold on the walls and the dirty water in the tub.
No, she does not clean her bathroom.
I can't imagine. You got to, when you send those pictures, you got to check your background. You know, like toothpaste spatters all over the mirror. Like when I'm sending a selfie, I got to check the mirror for toothpaste splatters.
Yeah, how many? Like you're talking about sexy selfie?
Yeah, of course. No, I'm not. Let's get right to Jonathan before we lose everybody here. Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
Yeah, I was about to hang up after that.
I don't blame you. Jonathan Fogel from Fogel Family Law. You know what is funny? Because since War of the Roses, we've been doing War of the Roses a long time, but the sexy selfie on the phone thing is moderately a new phenomenon with smartphones coming out 10-ish years ago, storing them on your phone. People go through the phone. Back when your phone was like, like when the smartphone, you didn't have that problem. Maybe they were on your computer or something. But these like sexy selfies and going through people's phones, let's talk about all this. Because I'm sure in your business, being a lawyer for family lawyer, you probably encounter this quite a bit.
It has. You're absolutely right. This is a new phenomenon, but it seems like with everything with technology as it starts to advance, people find a way to make it pornographic. That is what people do with technology. I'm convinced of that. That is the reason.
Back when they invented the printing press, probably somebody like, oh, you know what we should do? We should put some porn on this printing press.
Yeah, well, let's think about the office selfie. The office selfie used to be the copier where you'd sit on there with your butt and take a picture and then hand it around to people, right? That was as bad as it got, but it's gotten worse because now you can do real life stuff in real time. And so, over the years, I have had numerous clients who have brought me naked photos they've found on their partner's phones, right? So that's probably in the last 5 to 10 years, this has exploded.
Okay.
Right. And they're almost always pictures that they found of someone else, right, on their partner's phone, someone that they had gotten a picture from. Right.
Yeah.
And they want to tell me all about it and show me these pictures. And I always refuse for a couple reasons. One, it's illegal to distribute or share naked photos of someone without their consent. Right. So if they're not getting consent from the person that sent the photo to their partner, number one, it's illegal for them to have it. Number two, it's illegal for them to give it to me. Number 3, it's illegal for me to keep it.
Okay.
So I don't want anything to do with those photos. And the third thing is that it's not relevant. It may be relevant to their divorce, okay? And I always tell them this, look, this may be relevant because this may be why the person divorced you, or maybe they're having an affair. But Minnesota, as a no-fault state, it is irrelevant to the court's decision as far as whether this person is having an affair.
Totally makes sense. Can I ask you another question? So in this case, when Quinn saw the pictures on his phone, and what if, because he did not ask for those pictures, and this girl supposedly unsolicited sent him pictures of herself naked in the tub, could he show Quinn? Could he say, like, oh, my God, look at this, Carissa sent me naked pictures of her? Or is he then breaking the law by showing her pictures of the girl naked in the tub?
Yeah, now I'll preface this with I don't do criminal law. Okay. But I will tell you that if you get a picture from someone and it's not asked for, if it's a nude picture, I would not show it to anybody. I would be very careful about that. I would delete it and let that person know not to send it. And I have an even better thing for you. If you ask them to stop and they continue to send you nude photos, which has never happened to me, it happens to some people. But if you ask them to stop and they continue to do it, they can be charged with harassment or a crime, right? If someone's harassing you by sending you nude photos, like if this person in this case is sending these to him to try to, win him back or try to show him, and he says, hey, you got to stop doing this, and she keeps doing it, he could go get a harassment restraining order against her.
That would be kind of a desperate thing to do, but it sounds like that's what Carissa did on this War of the Roses. She's trying to win him back and said something like, whatever, I don't know what she said in the text, but then she sent him naked pictures after they've been broken up for a couple of years, supposedly, or whatever. But he could, if he writes her back and says, stop sending these, if she keeps sending them, that's breaking the law. He can get a restraining order.
He can get a restraining order or her, and then also those become evidence, right? So she's risking not only sending them to him, but then they become evidence in a court case and could be then shown in court. So, again, there may be good reasons to send nudes, but that's not one of them.
Now, you know what? I get it. I know that it's a very common thing. Like couples will she'll send something enticing and he'll send something enticing, but it's got to be kind of a mutual thing. So, Jonathan, if we want to get a hold of you to represent us in a divorce, custody, payment, non-payment, mediation, FogelFamilyLaw.com, Fogel, FogelFamilyLaw.com. Somebody wants to call you. What's your phone number?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 612-822-6244. You cannot send pictures on that number. That is a work number.
That's good to know, Jonathan.
I'm going to send a picture of my naked dog. Seriously, I'm going to send you a picture of my naked dog, Jonathan.
Don't do that to poor Josie.
Watch for it. She doesn't care. She's
always naked.
Lays
You're
around
right.
on her back. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, does your dog sometimes have clothes on? I'm just wondering how your dog...
I mean, it depends. 612-822-6244 or FogelFamilyLaw.com. Get a fun lawyer. Get a fun lawyer that you're going to actually look forward to meeting with. Meet him on the phone, meet him at Caribou, meet him in his office, meet him on Zoom, whatever. You don't want to meet him in court, though. You don't want to look up from the courtroom and go, oh, God, they hired Jonathan Fogel. We're screwed. FogelFamilyLaw.com. Thank you, counselor.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Yep, you too. We'll see you next week. By the way, if you want to get a hold of Jonathan, free consultation.